So this was, in my opinion, the most depressing Sister Wives episode that I've ever seen, because it was all about the kids. And no matter what child we're talking about here, it is clear that they are deeply impacted by this divorce. And it's hard to watch that and then it be smash cut to a video of Kody complaining about his kids. Like, he's so out, it doesn't care what their emotional experience is. He's just angry because nobody respects him enough. And it's just like this horrible dynamic. So in this video, I'm just going to talk about the different groups of kids and how they're dealing with this differently. The first is Robyn's kids, in particular Brianna. At the start of this episode, Brianna starts crying to the camera, talking about how she doesn't feel connected to her older siblings, her other siblings. And I paused the video, and both Allison and I looked at each other. We were doing a watch along, and we go, "Oh my God, it's just like Robyn."
Grew up with all of them. Or how many fancy houses you rent, or anything like that.
So when I look at this, it creeps me out because I have such a negative reaction to Robyn. But then I think, okay, well, what's the takeaway here? So one clear takeaway is it's obvious Brianna has watched a lot of her mom crying like that. Like that must be a frequent move on Robyn's part. The other piece of it, I think, is to just for me to be aware of myself is I saw it and I immediately have this negative reaction because I associate that kind of crying to Robyn and Robyn manipulating, and it's feeling fake to me. If I just watch Brianna in isolation, it feels real. I do think that Brianna misses her other siblings. I think Brianna wishes she had a stronger relationship. I think Brianna and Aurora, for that matter, feel disconnected from the family. I think that's a good segue to talk about Christmas and the text line from hell. So there's a gift exchange every year. I've watched this, by the way. I've watched this like 4 times trying to figure it out because I know everybody disagrees with me. But I feel pretty confident that every year they have a gift exchange, all of the kids. And this year, because of Kody's issue with Gabe and Garrison, the idea of all of them getting together at Robyn's house with Kody, it's a non-starter. So Robyn's saying, if you're going to do this gift exchange, let's do it via Zoom. And that way, all of the kids, my kids who are going to be with Kody, and all of you can all participate at the same time. And Gwendolyn and others are saying, we want to do it in person because it's much more intimate. And Robyn is saying, how could you do that? There's trauma here. You are traumatizing my kids. Robyn is referring to the fact that her kids and she feels like they're on the outs from the others. Now, Gwendolyn and the other kids see that, and they think about their own trauma, the trauma that comes from Kody choosing Robyn and her kids. So both parties are saying, we've been traumatized. We're the aggrieved party. And by the way, they're both right. Because the parents can't get it together, the kids are suffering. What I think Robyn did that was wrong is she took it personally. So when Gwendolyn or Janelle and Christine's kids said, we're not happy with that, we don't want to do it, and they pushed back on her, Robyn took it personally and started saying, you don't respect me, you mistreat me, right? She started attacking them. Robyn made it about her at that moment. So I think that, for me, that's the piece that's important, is that Robyn wasn't able to keep it about the kids. The reality is, the kids are just getting caught in the crossfire because these parents, in particular, Kody and Robyn, are so dysfunctional, these kids are suffering. I will say this, in every episode, I think for the last year that I've watched of Sister Wives, I can't get through an episode without thinking that Kody or Robyn's behavior is in some way egregious. But in this episode, the interview that Kody had regarding his kids was sort of next level shocking. And the more I think about it, the more it doesn't sit. It's such an aggressive response, right? He's aware that his kids, Janelle and Christine's kids, are talking about the family. He knows that they must be talking shit about him. This is an adult man, by the way, that's worried about kids talking shit. Because they're talking shit, instead of him saying, I'm worried about them, I haven't done a good job, I need to build the relationship, instead of any of that, what he says is, that's right, I don't want to talk to them. They don't respect me. I'm not interested. And then he follows it up by saying, whatever aggressive, negative, critical thing they want to say about me, right back at them. I feel the same way.
Every talk, every trash talk, every opinion is absolutely reciprocated. I think the same thing of them.
So in this episode, he made it really clear that he doesn't want to see his kids, and he's just as angry and critical of them as they are of him, despite the fact that the kids have done nothing. And this has been created by the adults having a conflict. The divorce is at the adult level, and the kids are suffering. And they're suffering and judging the parents. The idea that the parent then goes, "How dare you judge me? I don't like you," it's such a dysfunctional parent-child dynamic. The reality is, and I wish there was some way to get the message to Kody, as the father, you are responsible for the relationship with your kid. Those kids would do anything to have a strong relationship with Kody. They said it, right? There's a point in there where Garrison's like, we don't need a father anymore. He's obviously chosen not to be with us. We're fine. And Gwendolyn, to her credit, goes, I need a father. I wish I didn't, but I do. The camera pans over to Gabe. He's almost in tears. Those kids are suffering. And Kody is so focused on his own grief and expression of anger that he can't recognize the damage he's causing. It's wild to me, and it's deeply unhealthy. Which brings me, I guess, to my last point here is truly. When I watched this with my wife originally, I saw it, and Christine says, look, I have been moved. By taking Truly out of the relationship with her dad, which was a positive relationship, I've preserved it. I've made it a good relationship. And now when I visit him, I can bring Truly back, and the relationship resumes in a positive way. And she's saying, look, I've sort of frozen that relationship, and I've protected it. And I said, I agreed with Kody that that's bullshit. And I've thought about it. I know all the commenters disagree with me. There's sort of two parts of this, which is we have seen a lot of Kody, and we think we know Kody. We have this parasocial relationship with him as though we really get it. The truth is, this is a reality TV show. We only get what the editors want us to see. And so I'm making a lot of assumptions about what kind of father he is. And I think it's easy for the audience to look at it and go, he's abusive, he shouldn't parent anybody, take all the kids away. And so in that way, Christine's really protecting Truly. Certainly, if he's an abusive father, you should remove the kid. So I guess if we assume that Kody's abusive, I agree. If he's not abusive, if he really has a good relationship with Truly, the idea that you have a divorce and you remove a kid away from their father and then tell yourself that you're protecting the kid because the father's going to become an a-hole in the future, I think it's wrong. I think it's a miss. I think Christine is convincing herself that it's okay and that it's good for Truly. And I hope she has a wonderful life away from Kody. But I don't think it's fair to remove a child from their parent. So that's my perspective. Of course, always let me know what you think in the comments below.